back from a little getaway. Went to Hall's Gap. It was pretty good actually. Lots to see and do. Probably should have done a travel video given this is a building and travelling page. Or maybe the travel comes later anyway. So while we're away, that gave me a bit of time to think about a bit more of the formatting around the YouTube channels. And sorry, not the YouTube channel, but the episodes. And I'm finding I'm struggling a little bit with time as far as like you pick a subject, you know, and then you do a whole video about how that's built, right? So it's a little difficult, especially when you're trying to keep to a weekly schedule, which I'd like to do. If anybody has any objections, well, you know, let us know in the comments, but whatever. So we're going to move to just a little bit different, something a little different. I'm just going to start filming every time I'm out here working on this, because it would probably give you a bit more of a realistic view as far as how one of these things go together. Just remember, I'm learning as much as anybody else. So tonight, there's all the parts. Well, not all of them, but some of them. Quite a few. Kitchen, skylights. Yeah, the piping for the air conditioners. So that's all getting ready to go in. We picked up our little fridge, little second-hand one. It's only about 12 months old. It's actually sat in somebody's shed and done nothing. It cleaned up beautifully. Just on the fridge. We probably could have gone on and got a bigger fridge, but just slightly restricted in the lounge, you know, lounge, kitchen and bunks. I'm probably sure we could have come up with something a little nicer, but the galley kitchen, it's a bit grubby. The galley kitchen's probably the best sort of outcome for this layout. And my wife and I have already talked about probably I'll build another one after this. It's a little dark in here. I don't know if the camera's going to pick this up. Oh no, it looks all right. So we've mocked up the bathroom walls here. Not mocked them up. They're just sitting there. God, Stu. So what's going to happen with these? Obviously, we're going to clad against these. Back windows, obviously, we're going to stick some vinyl in there, which I've got underneath. The frames are in here at the moment, so I can mark everything and then we'll cut the vinyl and we'll stick that on. Tonight I'm working on this side. We have the same thing. We have the filling, you know, the filling frames to go through, which I've got most of the bits cut now. And you've seen that before. You've seen me weld stuff together. So I won't show that. So I'm going to get on and get that going. And then I'll check back with you probably about, shortly. We're seeing it live as we go. I'm sure this won't fit. Okay, maybe it will. So this, one-handed, that's in there, like so. Yeah, don't ask me what happened there. Righto, I reckon this will do me for the night. Bit of welding. All these frames are in now. Well, not in, but they, you know, geez, I'm going to speak. So there's a little bit of a difference here, like this one here. Made it so the sheets can butt up against the corner because there's a definite corner there. This one I'll probably have to weld something in. I don't know what I was thinking when I did that one. These ones, it doesn't really matter. These are all hidden in cabinetry. So you won't see these, like the fridge is right here in this area here. That's the fridge. So I don't really need anything to butt up neatly, like it's not a exposed corner. so to speak. And then this one here will, that end piece actually ends up with the pantry, so when the finishing panel comes across, it'll go right to the window, and then there'll be just a tiny bit of rubber or something that sort of will rest against the glass. Pretty good for a night's work, considering they started out as full lengths of steel. So I won't be out tomorrow night, but got a long weekend coming up, so I'm expecting to get a fair bit done over the weekend. Cool. All right. I'll see you on the weekend. I've been stuffing around in here for about an hour or so. Nah, longer than that, 2 hours. Yeah, this happened. Yeah. It's cracked. It's got a crack in it. So I've contacted the eBay store and we'll see what trouble we can get into. Try and get that out. Get a replacement. I think you can just replace the skylight bits. It's actually cracked on the inside one. There's 2 layers there, a bit of an air gap, which I would imagine is like insulation. So that's pretty cool. And the measurements, they are what they are. So we'll weld in some extra steel here, cut a filler panel, fill it, done. But anyway, so I've been spotting around the traps on Facebook again, a lot of questions around how to pull these out. And I've already had one go at it, and they're actually pretty simple. So I'll change the battery in the GoPro, and we'll whip through this. It doesn't take too long. Probably take me about half an hour now that I know what to do, and so we'll get on to it. Right. So as I've said before, we've got to do a bit of work around here because, you know, wall stuff. So we've got bits to fill in and whatnot. But anyway, so we're going to rip this out. There's not much to them, right? There's 8 screws. So 2 in here, 2 in there, 2 over there. That's just a little cover that slips out. It's this particular one that's riveted around the top. So you just drill the rivets out and then just get like get a scraper or something. Just tap it under there, break the bond with the... these had a stick-in seal, so yeah, an odd one, but anyway, so we'll get on. So, all right, well, I guess we start by trying not to cut our hands. The other one was actually easier. This is just meant to pop out. So you just get that cover out like that, and see there's the screws in there. Ow, that's my face. A bit awkward because somebody put a wall in the way, but this won't take long. Nut pliers, plug off, that's rubbish, can go in the bin. Separate it, so that's done. Now, you would think that would come out. No, they've actually bonded. They've just stuck a bit of, I don't know, some, whatever. I'm sure now that this is on camera it'll break. But you just sort of lever that out. It's not moving. Alright, so I didn't see this. The other one came out a lot easier, but you know. So this holds it in, I think it's that way. It was like that. So when you pop that out, and then you just push up and the whole assembly pops out. And I would dare say the other side is probably very similar. So,
oh, for Pete's sake.
Okay, we had to get a bit heavy-handed with this one. The grinder came out. you know, some people sell them. I don't really care. They're in my way. Okay, so we've got some filler pieces to put in and some aluminium line around that we'll use to just fill the hole in with. You can paint it, you can leave it, whatever. I'll probably just give it a quick coat of paint at some point. So we're using the old, top of the old hatch as a template. It's slightly bigger than the frame, only a little bit. And then if I just sort of use the edge of the, like push the Sharpie out a little bit and then cut to the outside of the line, that'll give me a bit of a, it'll just give me a little bit more space, a bit more of an overlap. So that's something I'll get on with now. Alright, so I've managed to make a mess of things. Well, not a mess of things, but make a mess. So, I had to make all new filler pieces for the skylights. A bit rough because I cut them out with the nibbler, and the nibbler didn't like the radius, but anyway, it'll be covered up. So tomorrow, put some inserts down either side of the skylights, because that's what they'll clamp to. I'm a bit annoyed. I should have just clamped this one. I probably might be a bit difficult. So this got screws in it, which I reckon I'll cover them up with silicone. It looks terrible like the caravan, but I guess nobody's going to see it. So they'll be sealed up tomorrow with just some automotive sealant. We'll weld in the we just need one down this side, and obviously we'll fill in the top of the doorway here. This one just needs two longitudinal pieces, and it's really just for the skylight to squash, you know. But obviously, I don't know if you can see it any, but the skylight has clamps, so we'll seal it, and then obviously it'll grip that piece of steel and squeeze down on that, and then it'll squeeze it all together. So there's no way this is going to fly off, because it'll actually be gripped by the skylight. So yeah, you know, before I head up for the night, I'll just chuck a couple more clamps on that. This side's pretty good. Just one more clamp there. You can see the stuff, the sealant's oozing out, which is good. And then we'll just trim it out, and I'll reseal the edge. So we'll see you tomorrow. out with me today, otherwise known as spud monkeys, otherwise known as any other name I can think of.
Yeah.
So we've test fitted the skylight in, it's slotted straight in, and so now we've just got to put these holding bolts in. So they just slip in a track. So that's the bolt. There's a little entryway and it just slips in. Depending on the skylight you get, I don't know if they're all going to be the same size, but they'll be close. So we just put all these in, and then I'll show you the next bit. I've just got to get these located first before we put the sealant rather, around the lip here to seal it in. It's actually a pretty good fit, so happy with that. So we'll get all these bolts in, we'll seal it up, and then we'll tighten it down. Right, so a bit of sealant, a good shellacking of sealant. Oh, you can't really see it because it does. You just put enough on so that it only just squeezes out the side. I mean, you can see the caravan there. If you look at the roof of the caravan, like, pretty sure they've got shares in Sally's or something. And I get it. Like, okay, you don't want the roof to leak, but you don't see a roof plumber do it like that. So similar principle here. Less is generally more, or more is more. What do we want? Oh, fuck, I don't know. But I've just put on enough that I know that it's going to seal, and then what I'll do is I'll get up on the roof and then I'll run a bead around the outside. Anyway, just a neat bead, just so it's nice and neat. And I find if it's nice and neat, it's easy to spot if there's any problems sort of forming. So anyway, to fix the skylight down, I've got a sneaky feeling the cover clips onto these. So it comes with an extension bolt, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So you've got two lengths depending on your roof. We need the longer one because our roof is 50 mil. So that just goes on there like that. Right. Just firm is plenty, because you're going to find too that this elastic up there is going to hold that down. Now this will be interesting, one-handed. Okay, so that goes there like that. You can see that profile locates it. Okay, one-handed, here we go. There you go. Oh, look at that dexterity. Anyway, so that just does up there like that. Right. I think an M12, no. That's right, I'll come back and nip these up later. That looks like M10 actually. Just do that up firm, just pulls it down, right. And it's pretty well rinse and repeat now. So I'm just doing the sides at the moment so I can get those fixed in. I'm going to bang my head on these. No, that's a good start. So yeah, just do it up. And one-handed again. You can see that just sort of locates up in there. Sorry, you guys are probably really close right now. Right. Scooch that up into there. As we get it tighter, we'll just go around and adjust them up bit by bit. I'm going to put the camera down, I'll get the other 4 done. These I just got off eBay. They weren't the cheapest. That's good. So because also the roof is curved slightly as well, it's just checking. So that locks nicely. I actually prefer these ones over the ones we've got in the caravan because it does have a lock in it. Right, so that just opens up like that, and you can choose, have it halfway. That goes there. And that's meant to stop it from opening again, so yeah, pretty nifty little thing. Like that. So yeah, really good. And I can, if I need to get up through here, I can actually. I could probably squeeze my fat backside up there, and the air conditioning unit's just there, so yeah, pretty straightforward. I'm going to go ahead and get the other one fitted as well while we're here, and that'll be that. Alright, so skylights are in and done, both of them. Better not forget me jumper. That could be interesting. So I've just re-glued that, even though it's got a crack in it. Re-glued it. It's going to stay open for tonight, just so that goes off. That's just some heavy duty PVA. With a lot of these things, it might look like it's fairly planned. I can guarantee you it's not. So just something to consider when you're fitting these in. I'd actually pull the skylight apart. You just twist the little gas strut, it'll pop out. And then there's either 4 or 6 screws on the inside here. So once you take the gas strut out, that will actually flip back. It exposes the screws back here. You can get a stubby screwdriver in there. And then what you can do is very neatly seal around the frame. I don't know if you can see in the caravan there, but they've just plonked it in and pushed a shit ton of silicone around the hinges in the hope that it seals. And it does, but it just looks terrible. So for my money and for a quick lesson, pull the hatch out. You can replace these hatches as well, so that's it's probably a good thing. But yeah, pull this off, and then it makes all your silicone work really neat. So I'll apologise for not getting a video out last week. We were away at Halls Gap, which was good. It was a nice little weekend. Found another place that we can get this into, which is even better. That's probably the nice thing about going away and having these little trips, is I can really have a look at what I can and can't get into with the bus. So if anybody's watching who also has a big, I call them big rigs. It's not a name that sticks with me. I can't get into it. Anyway, we have one of these larger mobile homes. The NRMA caravan park at Halls Gap has plenty of room, and I know you can get in there. So thanks for watching, and I see a lot of people watching it but not subscribing, so if you can hit that subscribe button or leave me a comment or something, that'd be great. I hope you get a bit of an insight into what it takes to sort of fit these particular things, these skylights, which they're great. I mean, look at the amount of light that's coming in here now. Yeah, hope you've learnt something. As I always say, none of this stuff's really planned as far as how I'm installing it. I just know what I want to install, and you're sort of watching me at the same time learn. So if you want to do this kind of thing, just get in and have a go. What's the worst that you can do? You throw a bit of money away, I suppose, but you've learnt something new. So cool. All right, well, we'll see you in the next one.